Hi everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Catherine Lorimer's Guide to Life podcast. How's everyone doing? Is it okay? So I'm trying to fade the music out a little bit more because I did actually listen back to my New Me, New Made podcast and I thought, oh, the music cuts out, doesn't it? Suddenly, that sounds a bit weird. So I'm going to try and work on that. Although the good news is I'm not saying quite so much. Feels weird. I'm recording in a different location today. I've just taken over my partner's office and doing podcasts at his house. So it's a bit strange. The sound isn't quite right. I can't work out to shut the door. Can I shut the door? Hang on. Let me just check. Okay, yeah, that sounds better. Right, it sounds better on that one. It's really weird. You have to record in like a really small space. And his office is probably, God, it's hot in here. Right, okay. I'll try and make it to 30 minutes. I'm about to pause halfway through though and go get a drink. You have to record a podcast in a really small space. Otherwise it just sounds really, really echoey. And my little office at home is probably about the same size as his. Yeah, it's maybe actually, no, it's probably about the same size. Maybe slightly bigger. I don't know. Anyway, so I found this location. I don't know if he's got a fan. He's got, I don't know. Right, so what have I been up to? So I've actually listened back. I've just listened back, okay, to my May podcast. Literally just done it now. And I've made some notes because I thought, you know what, you've got like an hour to spare, right, which you can get it done before you need to go and do something else. Right, so let's have a little look. What have we got? So one of the things I think I mentioned is, yes, I went on the meetup night out. I was just talking about that. That went okay, actually. I walked in and they went, oh, hi, I didn't think you were coming, hi. And I was like, hi, hugs everywhere. The people that I know. And I was like, hi, but I'm not supposed to be with you. No, come and sit with us. And I was like, no, I shouldn't really because I'm not part of the group. I'm coming, you know. And then it worked out okay because it was a band called The Sidekicks who, if you haven't seen them in Chester at the Corner House, they're absolutely fantastic band. They're great. Go and see them. Honestly, they're brilliant. And somebody was actually booked them for her wedding. So they do weddings. I can highly recommend them. They're honestly, and their lead singer's is a guy called Rich, and he's just lovely. He's so good, but they're a fantastic band. And we were up because of like dancing quite a bit of the night. So that was quite good, but it worked out quite well because actually the drummer from another band that we've also seen, whose name I can't remember at the moment, and my phone's in charge in the other room, so I don't think I've got access to my Instagram account. They were at a brewery in Waverton. Wavertones, that's what they're called. They're called the Wavertones, or as I jokingly call them, the Oasis cover band, because most of the songs they do are Oasis. But they are really, really good as well. But the drummer from the Wavertones was there because they all kind of know each other around here. So that was what we did. So it turned out, so there was just the three of us sort of in our little kind of, sort of like we were the band group, yeah. Right. So it was good anyway. It was a really good night, and I don't think I've been kicked out on Meetup, but to be honest with you, I've been so busy I haven't logged onto the app. So who knows? But I actually spoke to the guy and said, did you realise I put a little message saying I'm going to be here? And he's like, yeah, that's fine, don't worry. So that's okay. Right, golf. How did I do? Right, I can't. Oh, hang on a minute. Let me just have a look here. This could be them. Yes, actually, I was going to say that I don't know how I did at golf, but actually, on the other half's desk, I've located the golf card. Right. Okay. So here we are. So we've actually played 3 times. Okay. Oh dear, that wasn't particularly good, was it? Right. So the first time, and also when I played last time, I got 60, okay, which is a beginner score. In between, I got 68, okay. And to be fair, yesterday he put me down for 10 for a couple of holes. They probably should have been about 20. He's being really lazy. I'm not giving him. I'm not going to put down more than 10. So, I think because he's looking out at his golf score. So he's having a kind of look, at what he's doing. So that's the golf score. But we've also played a couple of times in North Wales, and it's a lovely course. It's absolutely superb. It's really scenic. It's a 9-hole course, and it's perfect for beginners. The holes aren't that big, and and they're all really nicely numbered, and it tells you kind of like how long, each one is in yards, which means absolutely nothing to me, but there we go. But it's just so scenic. You've got like mountains around you. It's absolutely fantastic. And I think I got 59. We played the first time at 54. So I've had is that 5 games of golf? Yeah, it's great. I'm loving it. I'm really, really enjoying it. So I went off my golf lesson as well on Saturday. And I said, right, I'm struggling with this bit. So we're working a little bit on my long game. That's the one that needs the work. Okay, driver use is pretty good most of the time, but what I do need to do, I need to go and practice at the driving range a lot more. I need to make sure I get there once a week, which I haven't been doing, mainly because I've just been too busy doing everything else. So that was quite good, but he's been kind of giving me a few hints and tips because I kind of swing my body, where it should be just an arm movement. So I'm kind of working on that. And he said your shots won't be quite as good until you get the hang of playing a slightly different way. So I was like, right, okay. But there was some good shots yesterday. I was really happy on my lesson as well. We went to the putting green. And I just went, yeah, and I know, we're banging them in. And the golf pro actually was just like, whoa, that was really good. It's like, there's some really good puts there. Try and get it. And I think I got most of them in 2. There's a couple where you always have a couple where you can't do it. You do really well, but he's like, you're really good at this. Then we had a little competition, me and the other girl, because there was only 2 of us in our group this week. And he's like, and I said, right, so do you know what our scores are? And he's like, no. He said, but I know he's winning. It's like, obviously I won, which is good, because it never used to happen when I did it at the other golf club, but it's because I've been playing a lot more. I'm love putting. I'm really good at chipping, okay, onto the green, and then doing a small putt, and then to really close to the hole, and then just getting it in. That's the element of the game I'm really kind of working on, the finesse of that. So I now need to just make sure that if I've got that bit, that's 3-3, isn't it? So then I just need to make sure I kind of can improve the score on the longer shots. But you have to have something to work on in every single thing that you do. So that's fine, we can do that. What else has been happening? So house building going on at mine. The next door neighbour, who I got on really, really well with, I think I mentioned her last month rather. She's having a porch built, walls taken down, and she can park her car next to mine on the front bit, which should be a lot easier. And I said, look, if you're doing this, I said, can you take the wall down between the 2 of us? Because it's a complete nightmare, and it'll be a nightmare. I know it'll be a nightmare for her as well. So she's got a little bit extra space. She'll have space to park her car. That'll be fine. We're having having it re-rendered and everything. So I've actually kind of I said to my partner, I can't really work from home. I can't. So I'm kind of squatting at his. Because I can't. So she had to. She's messaged me. She said, would I be able to put the skip on your driveway? Because there's no space. You can't put a skip on the road outside the house because people park on the other side of the road, and it's actually a little bus route, although it's 20 limits, and it's actually quite a busy road. So I said, yeah, that's fine, don't worry. And I thought, well, I can't work there because I work from home. I can't do the job that I do from home with all the banging and crashing that's going to be going on. So I said to my partner, I said, we're kind of going to be moving in together anyway. Might as well kind of move over while all this is going on, see how we get on, see how it all works. Make sure we don't fall out drastically. And Pippa's quite happy. Yeah, she's quite happy here now. But I went back. So I went back to have a look at it, see what was going on. They've taken all the render off the outside. It actually looks really nice with just the brickwork, but the bricks aren't that great, so they do need a little bit of extra work. Apologies if you can hear barking dogs in the background. You might not be able to, but they do bark at everything. There'll be a parcel being delivered or something. Yeah, it's a parcel delivery. I think the teenager got it, so it's fine. So they've taken all the render off the outside, and I went back to check it because you kind of need to go back and check it and pick up some more things that I knew I needed. And there's this one square patch, right, with a satellite dish on the actually outside the wall. I was like, and it suddenly dawned on me, I was like, oh my god, is that my satellite dish? I've been there, even probably getting on for nearly 2 years now. I'm like. So I messaged Jess and I said, so there's a satellite dish left. I said, I actually thought it was yours, but I think it's mine. Can we just confirm that it is mine, in which case I'll get them to take it down? And I said, also, there's like a telephone cable, sorry, an aerial cable that goes into the bedroom, and it's kind of a bit weird. And the bit behind it, I need to take the box off and it needs plastering. So I've undone that, disconnected it because it's really old and rubbish. And so I told her all this, and she's like, she was laughing, saying, "Yeah, that is your satellite dish." So I said, "Right, that needs to come down, and so does the cable." So I messaged the guy, and I went back. Did I go back again? I think I went back again to check it, and it was still up there. So I was like, "Jess, right, it's still there." She's like, "Right, I'll have a word." So anyway, when I went back next time, it had gone. And then she's great. Honestly, she's awesome. She's like a project manager as well. So we're very similar people. So she sent me this. I got this picture from her yesterday with a picture of my house and a cable marked in green, circled in green, and a cable circled in pink. Right, which one comes off? I'm like, the green one, not the pink one. So she's sorting that out as well. It's for me. So they're going to put the top coat render on. It should look a bit smarter, which would be quite good. And she's having a driveway dug up and all sorts of stuff. So, so it'd be good, and she'll have somewhere to park because parking is a bit of a premium around that location. But this is why it's really, really good to have such a good relationship with your neighbour. Because if you're doing things like that and you do it jointly, it's been fine. I've just literally been able to go, do you know what? I don't need to worry about project managing it because I know that she is perfectly capable of doing it because she's already done a few projects and we've kind of done things together already. Like we both got the chimneys appointed at the same time, and so it's all fine, and it just works really, really well. So she's an absolutely fantastic neighbour to have. Okay, so I've been doing lots of swimming. Okay, that's been really good. I've done loads of swimming apart from this week because I had the large injection into my arse, which is where if you didn't know where your piriformis muscle is, that's where it is. Okay, there's nothing more embarrassing than lying on with your bum naked in a hospital ward with some of your work colleagues while they inject into your arse. What do they put in? They put in some steroid stuff. Anyway, it seems to have helped. For example, it has helped because today I have been able to. What's been happening is when I try and do light seats. So you know how the jockeys do, right? So it's a much sort of reduced version of that. Okay. When I do kind of like you stand up in your stirrups. My stirrups aren't anywhere near as short as that for a start. No, I'm not. So you kind of stand up in your stirrups, but I've been having to lean on Merlin's neck. Now I'm at the stage where I can actually pretty much stand up straight in my stirrups, and I'm holding the reins, and I've got a proper contact, which I haven't been able to do for years. So I'm really, really happy that that's involved in the situation. There have been some other issues. I think I mentioned the poo wars, didn't I, at the yard? Yeah, they've all sort of settled down. That's fine. However, you have to manually fill up the water. And I was like, and it's been fine. I've been using kind of one water container and it kind of square, and I kind of like shuffle it onto the wheelbarrow rim and then just pour it from there. And that's worked okay. But I couldn't find it, or I didn't have access to that. So last week I thought, right, I'll use the round one, okay, which holds a lot more water. I thought, well, I won't fill it up quite as much. But then when I went to do it, it kind of rolled slightly, and I jarred something, and I felt it when I did it, and I thought, oh, this isn't really good, but we'll see how we go. And then I got on to ride the pony, and I had radiating pain down my other leg. And every time I went to trot, it just spasmed, and it was an absolute agony. And I was like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. I've spent 18 months, trying to get all this sorted out so I can do everything I want to do again. And John was really upset actually when I got back and told him what I'd done. So, he said, right, you just need to rest. So I was actually really good. I rested. The next day I went for a walk. We played a little bit of golf because actually that's gentle stretching. It's not too vigorous. And then I think I didn't ride actually. I didn't ride on that day. So that I thought I'd just sort of need to leave it. Applying loads of sort of ibuprofen gel and taking ibuprofen as well. So, it's bad if I'm taking painkillers. And he was just really upset about it. So I kind of thought to myself, right, okay, as much as I love being there, and I do love being there, it's great. The farm ride is absolutely fantastic, and I love being with my friend Bev, and she's coming on so much, and so is her daughter, and they're just, doing so great, and it's brilliant. But realistically speaking, okay, it's not feasible long term. So I thought to myself, right, what do I do? And John sort of said, he said, he said, and I saw it on their Facebook page that someone's got a couple of stables nearby. And I was like, right, okay. So I kind of had a look at them. I thought, well, I'm not sure that, he said, but the off-road riding won't be as good. So I had a look and I was like, well, maybe I can kind of have a look. And, there was an option to kind of message the person. No, that's right. And she said, send me a message. And you actually try and send her a message and it says, sorry, this person doesn't accept messages. And I'm like, okay, that's probably why she's got 2 stables empty, which made me laugh. And then there was another, so I thought, well, okay, someone else is recommending another livery yard. So I thought, well, I'll maybe send them a message just saying, look, I'm going to be moving to the area at some point, because the best yards you quite often have to go on waiting lists for. So I thought, is there a waiting list to go on? And that was an out-of-date email address, and that very bounded at me. So I was like, right, okay, well, do you know what? I'll actually just message the person that I kind of thought about in the first place, and it's a friend that I used to that I know from the last yard. It's where she used to keep her horse, and she said it's absolutely fantastic, and she said it's the best place ever. It's brilliant. She said, there. So I thought I'll send this, and then that's right. But I thought, well, I don't know. I don't kind of want to involve her, because you're always a bit kind of wary, aren't you, about involving somebody else, just in case there's nothing or. So I didn't want to involve her. But I'd seen on Facebook that someone had recommended this woman. So I said, oh, send her a little message. As it turns out, while she was on her honeymoon, I said, oh, hi. He said, I know X, and X knows me and my pony. And we're going to be moving to Frodsham at some point. And is there, I just kind of want to know if is there a waiting list I could go on, and or anything like that. And I appreciate, it might be some time before a stable comes up, etc., etc., etc. And she messaged me back in it a couple of days later, and she actually said, we hardly ever get any stables available here. She said, but actually there is one horse just about to leave for legitimate reasons, because it's just not the right yard for this horse. And she said, so it's going to be coming available. I was like, oh, wow. She want to come and look at it. I'm not there, but you can come meet my mum. So I was like, yeah, okay, that'd be great. I'll go down and meet her. That'd be brilliant. So I went down to meet her and I got on really well with her, like a house on fire. She reminded me of another yard owner that I was, that I had. And we were actually talking, and it turns out we used to compete at the yard that I used to keep my horse on, like about 20 years ago. She was up competing, we were both doing dressage together at the same place at the same time. So I was like, we must have competed together, which is just a bit bizarre, isn't it? So I thought, yeah, this is really, and the stable is just absolutely gorgeous. So they've got off-road riding. It's a 5-minute drive from my partner's house, which was just amazing. And it kind of ticks every single box, and they harrow the fields and then move them to another one, then harrow the fields, which is what I used to do when I had them at home. And they've also got mains water in the fields, which is also what I had at home. So, and I kind of I went through all the setups and everything. Right, how does that work, and which one is it, and what's that, and how does it all work? And she's got because I haven't been soaking my pony's hay, okay, and really he should be soaked for 2 reasons. One, he's got a bit of a dust allergy, and he has started coughing a little tiny bit. But if I don't soak it in winter and he's getting a load more hay, then he'll start coughing a lot. And also the other reason is that if you soak hay, it takes a lot of the kind of sugar levels out of them, which is what you need to do if you've got like a native pony like I have. And I haven't been able to do that because you have to carry the water along uneven ground, okay, to a big kind of truck or whatever you choose. And there's nowhere to really empty it. And you have to empty water down the drain, which is then halfway up the yard. And the feasibility of me with my dodgy back carrying all this water up and down and around, not going to work. So I haven't been doing it, which is I'm not really happy about, because also, he has colicked once or twice. So if you have a horse that colics, you're better off soaking their hay anyway. So I've been quite lucky. And touch wood, nothing's happened to him just yet. But the setup for this place is the hose pipe's right there, right by the drain, okay? And they've all got hay soakers round there. And I'm like, well, 2 people have got the same hay soaker as me. I'm like, fantastic, I'm going to fit in here. And I've just bought a new thing as well where I can put the hay in, okay, put water in, and then empty it down the drain. I'm thinking, this is going to work for me, this setup. And then I can just wheel it from there straight in to his stable, so no carrying any hay nets. So I've got a couple of options about how to soak it, but I'll kind of see how it works best. So I thought this is really going to work for me, particularly in the winter time when he has a lot more hay. They supply hay as well. It is small bales. I'm used to having big bales, so it probably will cost a little bit more. But at the end of the day, they've got a lot more grass, so he's going to have a lot less hay to eat anyway. And they do go out all of the time in winter. So not 24 hours a day, but they do go out a lot in winter. And I just thought, do you know what? This is too good an opportunity. So I thought I need to take it. So I injured my back, and I kind of thought, should I message her to see what's happening? And she actually messaged me that same day I'd injured my back to say, right, it's becoming available next weekend. Do you want it? And I was like, yes, definitely. So I've signed the contract, and hopefully by the time you listen to this podcast on the Saturday, he should have moved in. Okay, I'll update you at the end of July, but he should have moved in already to the new yard. So it's great, but I've loved being where I am because I've really got my love for riding back. I'd lost it, if I'm honest, just hacking around a housing estate. And it's been absolutely fantastic schooling him in an open space. I've loved it. My Bev's daughter has been jumping him a little bit, and she's really enjoyed it, and he's loved doing that. So that's something I can continue as well. Because I've started jumping him. I've jumped a couple of little logs and telegraph poles out on the farm ride. I'm thinking, right, okay, I want to be able to kind of take him out to places. The location of the trailer parking at the new yard is much better. I'll be able to kind of pull it out a little bit and get him on it without, too much difficulty. And it'll just be easier for me to get the trailer out. So it's ticking all the boxes. So the only thing is, John's not looking very forward to having to move stable mats again. He complained heavily that his walking boots smelt of horse wee for quite some significant amount of time afterwards. It's not too bad for me. I was moving them in trainers; they can just go straight in the washing machine. But no, so anyway, so he's just especially because we're moving when it's going to be on a particularly hot day. But do you know what? Such is life. So what else have we done this month rather? Right, so I put something down here. I don't know. Oh, that's right. So that's my injection, my operation. I just chatted about that. We went to the Cheshire Show. I haven't been to a Cheshire Show for ages. It was great, actually. A lot smaller than the Highland Show, which I'm used to going to. But it was good. We saw, all the animals and stuff. Had a look around all the stalls, and we saw some of the classes and the working hunter class. And I was thinking to myself, I'd love to do working hunter with Merlin. I'd like to show him, but I'm having this issue with his sweet itch on his face, and he keeps scratching the hair off his face. I think I've worked out what the cause is and how we can fix it now. But, until I get that sorted out for the summertime, I can't really take a pony who's scratched all the fur off his eyes. He's not going to win much. But there we go. So we went to see the Kooks in Delamere Forest. Apparently, was it their 25th anniversary of having things there? And that's the first time I've been to it. But anyway, they were fantastic. Great band. It was really, really good. Then we also went to see the Proclaimers in Warrington. Oh, great night. What a fantastically superb band they were. I got to the railway station, obviously. I saw someone I know from work. I was like, hi. And it's usually John who sees someone. Well, actually, no, to be fair, we take it in turns. Oh, that's another thing as well. When I was sat in the operating... you get the waiting room, don't you? Then you get transferred to get changed into you kind of two gown. One goes on the your top bit, and then one goes on the bottom bit. Two gowns either side, and then you get shushed into a separate waiting area before you actually go into the operating theatre. And there's a woman in there. I sat down next to her, and she just went, "I know you," and I was like, "I know you." I haven't seen her for about, I don't know. Must be pushing about, 50, 20, 30 years. Haven't seen her for 30 years. So we just went into a complete life story catch-up. And they came in from my operation. We was going, I was like, I'm really sorry. I said, I actually know her. Sorry, they were just like gassing away, But it was great. We had a little catch-up. So anyway, I hope she's doing okay. She knows who she is if she listens to this. I don't think I tell her I did a podcast. I don't know if I do. I probably didn't know. So what else we got going on here? We also went out last night. So last night, I'm going to upload it onto Insta in the week. I did 29,000 steps. Okay, an awesome amount of steps, right? And John's like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Are you sure that's correct?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, it is. My Garmin is correct because I've run a marathon with it on, and it was like 50, like over 56,000 steps. I was like, so I know it is, because I've also done half marathons with it, and it's the right amount of steps for what it should be. So it definitely is correct. He's like, well, it seems quite a lot. And I was like, yeah, but I said, I went off to do the pony, and then I went off shopping to get birthday presents and Father's Day presents in the supermarket. I said, and then I went off for my golf lesson. I said, and then I went off and we walked down to the art gallery, that's right, to see my exhibition, which is great. It's great to see all the paintings on the wall. A few of them have been sold, not that many, but we are at the World Cup, aren't we? So I walked down to do that. Then I went off to ride the pony for an hour, plus all walking around doing all the other jobs. And then I went off to play golf with him for 2 hours. And then when we got back, we walked around, took the dogs for an hour walk. I said, so I've done quite a bit. So then I actually had to put my Garmin on to charge. But actually after that, we then walked down to a local bar and then had a couple of drinks in there. Well, one of another friend from the pub whose his band was on, Jack Flash or Flash Jack. I don't know, something like that. It's not Jumping Jack Flash, but it is something like that. I can't remember it again. My phone's in the other room, so I'm not going to be able to. I can't be bothered. It's too hot. I just want to get this podcast in the bag, and then that'll be fine. Yeah, so that was the kind of, so we went to do that, and I did a bit more dancing. So I did way over 29,000 steps, which is the most that I have done since I did my ankle injury, which is great. It was great, and it was only actually a little bit sore, but I have taken to wearing trainers pretty much all of the time now, and that has actually made a really, really big difference to me. So back to the art gallery. It was great. It was nice to have a name on the wall. Catherine Lawrence, great. And there was probably about 350 kind of paintings on the wall everywhere. So anyway, so I was quite excited because on Instagram today, they'd uploaded about 5 or 6 different pictures of different paintings, and they put one of mine in there, which is great. My little sheep nastics, sheep doing a handstand, Although I am kind of looking at them because I did them a couple of months ago, and I've done a few really good things since then. I'm thinking, God, these aren't that good in compared to the ones that I've done recently. But I suppose that's, what happens when you're an artist, isn't it? The more you do, the more you grow. And I was doing, I think I've popped it on Instagram. I was doing a picture of a cow this week, and I was kind of painting it. And my art teacher comes back, and I'm kind of looking at it thinking, oh, it's not that great. I don't really like it. I'll carry on doing it anyway. And my art teacher comes up and goes, wow, that's fantastic. You've really found your niche there, haven't you? And I'm like, really? Seriously? And then my mate Dave next to me is going, yeah, that's brilliant. I'm like, so I did what you should do as an artist anyway. I stood up and went to the back of the class, looked at it and thought, do you know what? That's actually not too bad. So, so that's going to be going up for sale. And it must be quite good because one of my friends actually reposted my tweet of it, my Instagram post of it. I thought, she's quite selective. Bless her. So I thought, that's really good that she's done that. She's not the sort of person that kind of does things like that. So cheers for that. You know he will. Right. So what else? So that's good. What else? So we're having an art sale on the 4th of July. I've popped that up on Instagram, which is quite good. So I've got some things that I can probably sell anyway. And we're trying to advertise it and everything. So it's either going to be a success or it's either a complete hit or a complete miss. But for the sake of £10, it wasn't really that much. So I thought, do you know what? It's worth giving it a go. Oh, and the first thing that I probably should have said, first of all, is that I'm podcasting nearly at 5k downloads. We're at 4,910 when I checked a couple of days ago and shoved that up. So that's amazing. So thanks very much for listening. Because at the end of the day, I wouldn't be able to achieve that many downloads without people downloading it. So thank you very much if you're one of those people. So I did. So you'll see as well, I put on Instagram AI review, okay, which is awesome, okay, of my podcast. What did it say? I'm going to have to I'll go and get my phone and just go and read it out. Here you go. I found it. And the reason I Googled it was like, right, I need to listen to my podcast. And I thought, right, I'll have to Google it because I haven't really got Spotify anymore. I haven't really been listening. I've been so busy. I've been listening to Radio 2 mainly. And it says that Catherine Lawrence, the AI overview, which I shoved on Instagram, saying Pippa and I quite like AI now. Catherine Lorimer's Guide to Life podcast is an empowering podcast hosted by Catherine Lorimer, a strong-minded woman in her 50s, navigating life's challenges alongside her black Labrador. I was like, oh, that's great. Love it. So I'll shove that up there. That's great. Well, happy. Very happy with that. Right, so let's have a little look at to see what else I have missed out. Do you know what? I think that's it. I've covered everything and I've got to 30 minutes. So thanks very much for listening. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. You guys are awesome. And hopefully it does inspire to go and do some other things or, anyway. So I hope you get something out of it. Have an amazing week, guys, and I'll catch you next time.